Hello, my name is Marcos Chavez, and I decided to do my research paper on food insecurity in Native American communities. Food insecurity is basically the the struggles of being able to access healthier and nutritious food that is basically a necessity to society. And Native Americans have been the ones out of that circle and of that food security that the federal government is supposed to provide, as they have a long history of forcibly removing them from their lands and forcing them to adapt and cultivate into their new environment, which has been very hard. And federal governments have not been up to their word. Um, there's a lot of places in these reservations that do not provide these nutritious foods and are stuck with processed foods as the new Western um, culture food system that we do have in place. Um, and throughout the years, as you look through um, these years, these are the households that lacked access to the adequate food um, and healthy foods as well. Throughout the years, as you see, the American natives are really still high in percentage. Even at if you look at the year 15 there, it's really spiked to 30%. But it is dropping slowly, but it's still very high, other than non Native Americans, which are at a cool 10.5 percentile. This is still a big stat, and a lot of it has not changed, um, and is still continuing, unfortunately, with the government not being able to provide these healthier, nutritious foods that these communities do need. And about 1 in 4 Americans experience food security compared to 1 in 9 Americans overall. Um, this is a part of food sovereignty, and it is the right of the people to have healthy and good enough food systems to have sustainable methods and give their right to their own food and agricultural systems, and they are stripped away from that. Um, these are one of the these are one of the 28 countries in America that are majority Native American, and these are out of the highest in the United States. Um, there are there is a concept with food deserts. This is where most of the communities lie, in between these food deserts, and these are just a lack of full service groceries. There are places in like Navajo Nation that have millions and millions of acres and only have about 13 grocery stores that are able to provide nutritious foods and stuff like that. And it's really difficult to travel millions of miles just for healthier foods, and it's not across a wide range. And as if you look at states like Massachusetts or Vermont or Boston cities, they have over 40 grocery stores and less than 17 million acres, which is pretty depressing. Um, and then due to the limited income and employment and resources, um, Native Americans decide just to buy and stock up on cheap foods off the shelf, instead of buying the fresh foods and nutritious and healthy foods, um, and is really unfair and gives a lot of food insecurities there. And while this progresses, also brings up many health disparities in their diets. Diabetes type 2 is has increased tremendously and have affected Native American communities and had a 2 times rate of being diagnosed with um, diabetes. out of compared to the white Americans, which is also around 2 out of 3. Um, a lot of these federal government policies have tried to combat these high rates of diabetes by creating programs, and however has not received any funding, um, no attention, and has type 2 diabetes has tripled among Native American youth. And a lot of that has to do with the education system as well, um, not giving the right information on what is good to eat, how should their diets be, what should they limit, um, and overall, as of 2017, 30% of Native Americans are unable to access good healthcare. So even with that, those stocking up on cheap processed foods on the shelves that could be there for years are just unable to have access to healthier foods and have a lack of care stems. Um, but that is it. Native Americans need to have the fight for food sovereignty, such as programs of the MISCO initiative, food sovereignty initiative, which works to enable to MISCO to for the MISCO people and their neighbors to provide their own food and health needs now through sustainable agriculture and economic development, as well as the community involvement, culture, and educational programs. These are one of the initiatives that needs to be more funded, um, and should increase as the years go by. Thank you.